Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. We are going to get started here. I have my wonderful model Tom. Thank you for being here. And then for practice today, I asked that everyone have um, our 5 blankets, an eye cover, 5 blankets, an eye cover, and 2 pillows, and then a chair or the side of the couch. I would say probably 99% of people could just use the side of the couch. It's just sort of hard to see here, so I'm going to use a chair. But there's whichever you have, whatever is most comfortable for you, please go with that. So to begin, we'll come to a seat and just take a couple breaths together. So go ahead and find something to sit on so that your hips are a little higher than the knees. And make sure that you're comfortable. So Tom and I are both sitting on some big pillows here. And then we can just bring the shoulders over the hips and the ears over the shoulders. You can drop the chin to the chest. And we're going to just start by noticing the temperature on your skin, noticing the air around you. Noticing the quality of the breath. Noticing the beat of the heart. Noticing any tension that may be held in the body. Maybe in the belly, the shoulders, the neck. And we're just observing without judgment, not even trying to change anything. What is your body telling you today, right now? And now really start to focus on the breath. Is it shallow or quick? Noticing the rise and fall of the chest and the shoulders. Inhale through the nose, filling the side and back body. Notice the expansion in the back body. Exhale through the nose and release the shoulders. And return to the natural rhythm of the breath. Inhale through the nose like you're drawing energy up the spine, allowing the back body and side body to expand. Exhale through the nose, release the shoulders. And come back to your body's rhythm of breath. Once more, inhale through the nose, filling the side and back body, noticing the expansion in the back body, the expansion in the side ribs. Exhale through the nose, releasing the shoulders. You can release the head and the belly. And return to your body's natural breathing rhythm. When you're ready, you can bring the head up and open the eyes. Welcome. So before we do get started, I want to take a moment, now that we've settled into the body, we've maybe noticed how we are, have a clearer picture of the internal landscape. I'd like to welcome whatever has come up for you, whatever that looks like, even if it is maybe angry or uncomfortable, maybe agitation, irritation. Maybe you're happy and having a good day, but whatever you've found as you were looking inward, I want to welcome that to class today. So let's go ahead and begin. So we're going to, for our first pose, clear the space. So I can take your pillow. And our first pose is going to be a back bend. I want to do some grounding today, and I find these back bends are a really accessible way of helping to bring the body sort of down, moving into this grounding energy. So we'll begin with just a one blanket back bend. So I'm going to show you how I fold it, the same way we always fold it. This is my blanket opened all the way up. It doesn't matter what your blanket looks like. If it's different than mine, that's absolutely fine. So we're going to take the two edges and they come together. And then we're going to do that again. So we're taking the short edges together. And then one more time, I'm going to take the two short edges and draw them together. So we have this rectangle here. One side is going to be a little bit firmer. That's the side that is the two folds instead of the open side. That's what's going to go towards the head. So we'll bring this here and we're going to have it lengthwise. So the body will be laying, the head will be here, and have your eye cover. I'll grab that for you when you come down. Have your eye cover nearby, and I'm gonna actually move this here just for the thickness on there. If when you come into this pose, it's uncomfortable to you, like painfully uncomfortable, pay attention to those signals. If you find that it's uncomfortable in maybe a way that's not a physical danger, but maybe you find it brings up something in your mind, absolutely come out of the pose if at any point you're like, I can't do this. But maybe I would encourage you to take a breath and really evaluate maybe where that's coming from, and maybe you can extend an invitation to that feeling that it's okay to be there and the pose can be beneficial to you. But follow your body, follow what you know about yourself. You are the expert on your own body and your own needs. So I'm going to have you come into the, actually, can I have you come sit so that your back is facing the camera? Okay. Actually bring your arm sort of out to the side. And then, yeah. You bring it up and down. It's kind of hard to see. I'm trying to find your shoulder blade. You put a lot of knots in here. There you go. So I'm looking for, yeah, you can see the shoulder blade is a triangle, right? And so we're looking for the lowest point of the triangle, the most inferior point of the scapula here. That's what's going to be touching the edge of this blanket. So that's going to be physically touching and just barely right across there. This space is different on everybody. So let yourself find find the position that is most comfortable. And let yourself take a moment to figure out what that feels like for you. So you can come down now. So the low back, I don't want you sitting in front of this. I want the low back supported. So that's why we have it facing this way. So the low back is going to actually be on this blanket. Yes, beautiful. And you'll adjust as you come back down. And then go ahead and find your way gently, slowly onto your back. And you can feel on yourself, right? You can feel where that point on the shoulder blade is. And then the knees are going to come up, feet are going to be flat on the floor. And you can let the knees fall in, and the feet can come out a little. And you let the belly start to settle. And I'm going to grab your eye cover. And the arms are wide out to the side. Now, I'm looking at you here. Are you a little crooked on the blanket? Mm-hmm. So I'd like you to move to the right just a little, because I'd like you to be, yeah, exactly. There you go. And then before I put this over your eyes, tuck your chin, and then allow the flat part of the head to reach the floor. Is that comfortable? Mm-hmm. And then you'll cover the eyes. And we just start to let the body settle into itself. You can imagine that the belly is maybe a very still pool of water. Maybe the legs are mountains with a stream at the top flowing into the pool of the belly. And then streaming down the torso and out of the arms like rivers. Notice the opening in the belly, the spaciousness. Moving to the center of the brain. And I'm watching the time, and I won't leave you. Take an inhale. Flutter the lips, exhale. Do that one more time. Inhale through the nose. Flutter the lips, exhale. Release your body into the floor. Now one more inhale. Just open the mouth, exhale. And then bring the right hand to the torso and then the left. When you're ready, you can find your way to your side of choice. You can remove the cover from your eyes and gently coming onto the side. And when you're ready, you can bring yourself up to seated. And the head will come up last. Really giving yourself the gift of a patient transition. So for the next pose, we're just going to add one more blanket to the back bend. If you come into this and you don't like the height, and you may find that because the one blanket it's not too much. It's a very gentle opening. If you don't like the second blanket, you can stay with the first, or you can come down just onto the back. But I'm gonna grab, I think this one is a better size blanket. So I had folded it again, end to end, edge to edge, and then edge to end, short edge to short edge, short edge to short edge. And then we do that one more time. And then again, there's going to be a side that's more dense, that's thicker than the other side. And that's going to be the double fold. Okay. And so I have fringe on here. I flipped them just so it's more even across so that the one side is not higher than the other. And then we'll just bring the edges together. So we'll come back into that the same way. So remembering the lowest point of the shoulder blade. And is that? Almost feels like you need to come closer to me. How's that feel? And then the knees can fall in. And I'm going to cover your eye. Is that comfortable? Mm-hmm. And then before I cover the eyes, bring the hands to either ear, behind either ear. You're just going to lift the head so that the chin comes into the chest, and then allowing that flat part of the skull to reach the floor. And the arms can come out to the side. You can bend the arms up if that feels comfortable with your shoulder. Don't do that. If you have pins in your shoulder, that might be quite uncomfortable, so avoid that. And we'll cover the eyes. Comfortable? And we settle back into the pose. Coming back to that feeling of the energy pooling in the center of the body and flowing out the arms, down the legs. Really Releasing the belly and the organs. Noticing the lungs expanding into the side body. Releasing the shoulders. Releasing the jaw. Moving to the center of the brain. Noticing the ground, the floor beneath the shoulders, under the arms, under the feet. Noticing the firmness, the resoluteness of the floor, of the earth. Letting this become the statement that you are here. You are here now. Bring your awareness back to your feet on the floor. Notice the knees and the hips. Release the belly. Release the belly button. Release the organs, the chest, the shoulders. Become heavy, dense. Let yourself meet the floor. Notice where you are. Take an inhale. Open the mouth, exhale. Take another inhale. And let it go. You can bring your hands to the torso. Feel your hands on your body. You can remove the cover from your eye. When you're ready, come to your side of choice. And take a moment here. Noticing any new sensations in the body. And then gently, when you're ready, you can bring yourself up to seated. And the head always comes up last. So we're going to move into our next pose. If you are using a couch, that you can go ahead and come close to the edge of the couch. We're just going to be using the seat. I'm going to grab the chair. And can you move the blankets out of the way? It's okay. So we're going to be bringing the legs up onto the chair. We've done this before. I think I'll bring this here just because I don't want it to move anywhere, and I think that's easy to see. There we go. Okay, so we're going to have the legs up over the chair. I think first we'll set up the head support, and I love using the blankets we just did a back bend over because they're very flat. So you can bring this shape, this rectangle, we just draw the edges together. And then you can see how it's slightly stepped. This will reach the tops of the shoulders. If for this pose, if you'd like, if you have a pillow from your bed, you could use the pillow as head support if it's not too fluffy. I believe I asked for pretty dense pillows, but if you have one that's less dense, you could use that the same way. It's gonna touch the tops of the shoulders and you'll roll it in the exact same way. You just don't have to fold it. And then grab all your other blankets. How do you feel about the softness of this floor? Would you like something underneath your low back? Okay. If you have a low back that can be sensitive, like I do, I like to open my blanket and just bring it, you can move the head support back. Bring it to the base of the chair, just as a little bit of extra support for the low back. There we go. And we'll bring this here. Okay. And then if you are doing this on a chair that has padding or on the couch cushion, you don't need to put a blanket on the seat of the chair, but this is like one of those like metal chairs. It's kind of cold. So I'm going to put a blanket over the end, over the seat of this. If you are using a chair and you find that it's, some of them are like, well, it's kind of backwards, but some of them are angled, you can even use a blanket to even it out by like rolling maybe the back under, and making sure that it's a level surface. But this is a flat chair, so that'll be okay. Okay, and then have your eye cover nearby. I'm gonna grab these blankets here. So you're gonna have one blanket to cover the body. So I like to open the body blanket first, just so it's easier to get over, especially if you're doing this yourself. So I'll just set that here. And then have your other blanket. This is going to support, this is going to burrito the legs with this. So if I could have you come over here, we're going to get into the pose. So you're going to, yeah, you can actually, if you kind of sit, yeah, I like that. So I like to bring the hips to the center of the chair. And the knees are going to be up. So again, everyone's legs are different lengths. You can kind of find your spot, but you want the back of the knee supported. So I like to have the outer, well, don't bring it up, the outer edge of the knee right up against the corner of the chair, and then you can lift the knee up and over. Yes, and you can lift the knee up and over. And I'd like to have you scoot a little bit closer. There you go. How's that feel? Okay. Maybe I should have pulled this a little farther so it's easier to see, but you're fine where you are. So you can see the backs of his knees are supported. And I'm going to take the leg blanket, and you don't have to open this all the way. We're just going to cover, I'm going to get out of the way to show you. We're just going to bring it over the shins. Bring it through, covering the feet. If you're on a couch and the cushion of the couch is touching the toes, push the couch away because I don't want it to be stimulating. And then you'll take the blanket, bring your big toes together, spin the heels out. Roll this knee in towards the other knee. I'm going to tuck this under. There you go. And roll the other knee in. Tuck that under. How's that? Okay. So that's going to keep the knee. Is that enough? Okay. That's going to keep the knees from rolling out. And the arms can come out to the side. And you can bring them maybe a little wider. Yeah. And you can come to the pinky edge of your hand. So the pinky side will rest on the floor. Yeah, it's beautiful. And you don't want the arms to be too open. We just want, we want there to be space in the body. And then I want to fix this head support. So you kind of have the space where you know you want to be. So now we'll make sure that the head support is enough. So I can see here that this isn't low enough on your body. So I'm going to have you bring that touching the tops of the shoulders. Does that feel okay? Okay. So the support is touching his shoulders here. So fully supporting the back of the neck all the way down. If you were doing this on yourself, you'd reach up either side of the ears and you would grab, noticing on this side that there are distinctly two layers. You grab the top layer and the top layer on the other side. And you're going to roll them in towards the body. So this is where if you had a pillow, same thing, the pillow would come up to the shoulders. You'd grab either edge of the pillow and roll it down. So you're going to roll it towards the body, creating a nest. How's that feel? Mm-hmm. And then you can take the bottom layer And then start to roll that too. So we're just really creating height. And from here, may I touch your head? Okay. To do this on yourself, just tuck the chin into the chest, release the full weight of your head. Tuck the chin into the chest, and let the head come down. And I want the forehead higher than the chin, but for you, I'm noticing there's a bit of space here. So I'm actually gonna make this, you can come back down, you're fine. I'm gonna just make this a little higher. Yeah, how's that? Mm-hmm. I like that. Can I touch your head? Fully release the weight. Does that feel supported? Okay, and then lastly, sorry, no, I got that. I got you. I just did that poorly. Lastly, you'll draw the blanket over the body. I'm actually going to be warm. Okay. So he's pretty warm. It's quite warm in here. You don't want the blanket, do you? Okay. I'm not going to put the blanket on him because I can tell it's quite warm, and that would just, I think, be kind of stimulating and distressing. So those are adjustments you can make. If it's hot, you do not have to cover yourself. You may find that as you relax, your body might start to get cold, so you can have the blanket nearby. It's pretty warm in this apartment. I don't anticipate that happening, but I will keep an eye on you. And if I think you're getting cold, I'll cover you up. And because we have the extra blanket, because you are not, because it's hot in here, I'm going to bring the extra blanket over the shins. I like that. You could also use the pillow. If you have a pillow, put a pillow over the shins. It's creating a little bit of extra weight. And then I'm going to cover the eyes. Put that here just for a second. How does that comfortable? Okay. So cover the eye. Because of where I put you, I'm going to give you a little bit more hand support just because you're off the. So go ahead. How's that? Is that better? Yeah. Okay. Release the weight of your legs into the chair. Release the feet, the soles of the feet, if you're holding any tension. Also, if you are trying to release tension in the body and it's just not working, you're not failing, and that's okay. We're just moving in the direction of. Release the hips into the floor. And release the belly, the shoulders, the hands. Release the full weight of the head into the head pillow, into the head support. And I have the time. I won't leave you here, so you can rest. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. You can remove the cover from your eye. You can move the fingers, move the toes. You can bring a hand to the torso and the other. Notice your hands on your body. You can bring your feet to the edge of the chair or the couch. And then when you're ready, you can roll over to your side of choice. And take a minute here. Taking a couple breaths. Noticing any new sensations in the body. And when you're ready, you can use your top hand to push yourself up to seated. So we're going to set up for our final pose. And we're going to need to clear the space here. You can grab if you're using a pillow for your head, we're going to need to use that pillow under the knees. So you can fold the blanket, you can fold a blanket into a head cover, or you can, if you already have one, you can just set that up to the top of the mat, because we'll use it again in a second. And I'll move this stuff out of the way. So you can just get the chair out of the way. We're done with it. And this last pose is the Shavasana. And so because of the variation in props that people have available to them, you're actually going to have a couple of options here. So if you're using like couch cushions or like dense pillows, I'll show you how I want you to set it up. If you have maybe like only one dense pillow and one is a bed pillow or two bed pillows, I'll show you a different way to set it up. So we're going to be on the back, so make sure the floor is comfortable. What do you think? Do you want another blanket under your back? Okay. So we'll put the head support in place, and then I'm going to grab the other two pillows. So you can see this is fairly like analogous to a couch cushion, like in density and thickness. Then I have two of those. So I'm going to take them, and now remember, it doesn't matter what your props look like, but what we're going for is I want to lift the knees, but we want the full backs of the calves to be supported. I'm going to take a second pillow, and it's going to come over the top here. That's actually quite high as I'm looking at it. I'm just realizing these are two pretty big pillows. Well, let's see. I just don't think that's going to be good for your low back. So I'm going to actually keep it down on one pillow. So actually, if you want me to, for these, so if your props are like as thick as this is like 5 inches almost. Like this is pretty thick. You'll only need one. So You can set the other to the side. I didn't realize how thick that one was going to be. If you do not have two thick pillows, or if you don't even have one thick pillow, can you hand me that thin one there? I'll show you what you can do instead. So if you can't get about this height with the prop, instead I'd like you to just turn it this way, and then you can take the softest pillow that you have, and we'll just make a little bit of an angle. And this looks really high, but the body's gonna hold that down. But because we do have this thickness, we're gonna go with that. And then, so because I have the extra one, I'm just gonna put it at the end here. Not that it makes any difference, but I just want to make sure that the whole back of your body is supported. So there we go. And then we're gonna do hand, wrist supports. So we have this shape here. We draw the edges together. And then that's just going to go on either side. You know, actually, I feel like this is confusing to look at. We pull the... I want it to be simple. Simplicity. Okay. And you'll take another. This is for the wrists. You can fold it in half. With the wrist cover, we're just looking for the wrists to be supported at 90 degrees. So if your blankets aren't this thick, it does not matter. If it's like hand towels, that's totally fine. You just want to be able to cover the hand and have the wrist lifted slightly. And then you'll take one of your blankets, and we're going to use this for the legs. We're going to wrap the legs, and then you can open up the full body cover. And we'll just set that to the side. So, very, very similar to the last pose. The legs will be lifted on this, and you can come get into place. Have your eye pillow available. So the hips in front. Yeah. And I want the backs of the, backs of the knees are more supported. There you go. Okay. So you can see how these are rolling, the legs are rolling out. You might be like, what am I supposed to do with this? Don't worry. I have planned for it. So, burrito legs. This is where they really become important. Blanket any opening width of the blanket is fine. I'm going to come around to the other side. So, big toes come together. Spin the heels out. Yes, I love it. And then we're going to really burrito the legs in. So actually, you can roll, if you're doing this on yourself, you'll roll the knees in. Can you just bring your legs together a little and then lift your knees? There you go. How's that? Feel supported? Mm-hmm. Okay. So make sure that you're very tucked. Make sure you can release the knees, the weight of the knees entirely into the blanket. And how does that feel on your back? Okay. Then you'll bring your arms out to the side. I'm just going to bring your wrist support into place. And I just want the wrist supported. I'm going to bring this up because the body likes symmetry. And then the head support will be the same. I'm going to move this where you lift your head up. So top of the shoulders, and we roll the top in. And we roll the bottom. How's that? I'm going to touch your head. Release the weight. So the eye cover, I'll cover you last. So, I know you're hot, so I'm not going to cover you with the blanket. If you have a second pillow, you could bring it over the shins. Does that feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm going to set this just to the side in case you want to cover up, because you may find that you get cooler. So if you find that your knees aren't high enough, if it feels like you want more height, do you feel like you want more height? No. You can add more height. If you want less, you can add less. You can also put your knees just over, like I showed you before, over one of these pillows. So really find what makes your low back comfortable. And now I'm going to cover your eyes up. Can I put a blanket on your stomach? Like not cover you, but just like a little weight? Maybe up here. How's that feel? Yeah. I just added a little bit of weight to the tops of his thighs. I'm going to cover your eye. So we start to release. Releasing into the props. Letting the blanket hold you. Feeling the support of the head. Maybe even the gentle weight of the eye cover, even if it's just a washcloth or a scarf. Taking a moment to appreciate the time that you have invested in setting up this space of comfort. This class today is slightly different because we will be protesting at the normal class time. We have plans to protest. And so in honor of the protesters, in honor of the people who are bravely raising their voices and standing up for what is right, I want to do a little body scan. And we'll really focus on the legs that so many people have used to march. Focus on the mouth, as we have heard so much wisdom and bravery, not just in this time, but as people have stood up in this country for years. We will focus on the vocal apparatus, the mouth, to honor that bravery. So get started. Release the belly button. Start from the center. Releasing the organs. Releasing the hips. Noticing where the body meets the floor. Noticing that you are held unwaveringly. Feel how solid the earth is beneath you. You start to become aware of the soles of the feet. Notice the sole of the right foot. Think of the spaces it has carried you. Send gratitude, love, appreciation to the sole of the right foot. Bring your awareness to the big toe. The second toe. The third toe. Fourth. And the pinky toe. Noticing all the toes on the right foot. Notice the top of the right foot. Notice the right heel. The right ankle. Notice from the tips of the toes to the ankle on the right foot. Noticing the entire foot. Notice the right calf, the right shin. Notice the right knee. Notice the right kneecap. Notice the sides of the knee. Notice the back of the knee. Notice from the right knee down to the right ankle. From the right knee to the right ankle, to the right toes. Noticing from the sole of the foot to the knee. Notice the top of the right thigh. Notice the back of the thigh. Notice the right hip. Notice from the right hip to the right knee, to the right ankle, to the right toes, to the sole of the right foot. Bring your awareness to the right hip. Draw the awareness across the low belly to the left hip. Draw the awareness around the back body, around the back of the hips, circling the bowl of the pelvis. Bring the awareness to the left hip. Notice the top of the left thigh and the back of the left thigh. Notice the left knee, the left kneecap, the sides of the knee, and the back of the knee. Notice the left shin, the left calf, notice from the hip to the knee. Notice from the knee to the ankle. Notice the left ankle, the left heel, the top of the left foot. Notice the left big toe, the second toe, the third, fourth. Notice the pinky toe. Notice all of the toes on the left foot. Notice the sole of the left foot. Sending acknowledgement, awareness to where it has carried you. Notice both feet. Notice both shins, both calves, both knees, both thighs, and both hips. Noticing the bowl of the pelvis. Notice the right glute and the left. Bringing the awareness from the soles of the feet, up the ankles, the knees, into the hips. Notice the low belly. Releasing the organs. Notice the right side body and the left. Notice the low back, the middle back, and the upper back. Notice the shoulders, the right shoulder and the left. Notice the right shoulder, the right upper arm, wrapping all the way around. Notice the right elbow. Notice the inside of the right elbow. Notice the right forearm, the right wrist, the palm of the right hand, the back of the right hand, the right thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, and your right pinky. Noticing from the tips of the fingers, the palm of the hand, the back of the hand, and the right wrist. Draw the attention from the wrist to the elbow, up to the shoulder. Tracing across the front of the body from the right shoulder to the left. Becoming aware of the left shoulder, the left upper arm, the left elbow, the inside of the left elbow, the left forearm, the left wrist, the back of the hand, the skin on the palm, the left thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, and the pinky. Notice the tips of the fingers, the skin of the palm, the back of the hand, the left wrist. Notice from the left wrist to the left elbow, to the left shoulder. Notice the back of the neck, the back of the shoulders, the top of the shoulders. Both shoulders, both upper arms, both elbows, both forearms, wrists, and hands. Come to the front of the throat, the pit of the throat, the esophagus, the root of the tongue. Notice the low jaw. Notice the right side of the low jaw, the left side of the low jaw. Notice the chin. Notice the space between the chin and the low lip. Notice the right side of the lips, the left. Notice the top lip. Notice the inside of the low lip, the inside of the top lip. Notice the inside of the right cheek, the inside of the left cheek. Notice the lower teeth. The space beneath the tongue. The right side of the tongue and the left. The tip of the tongue. Notice the roof of the mouth. Notice the top right corner of the mouth, the top left, the lower right corner, and the lower left. Notice the throat. Notice the outside of the right cheek. The outside of the left cheek. Notice the right cheekbone and the left. The bridge of the nose. The space between the eyebrows.
forehead, the crown of the head. Notice the entire head. Notice from the crown of the head to the shoulders, to the elbows, to the forearms, to the wrists, to the belly, to the hips, to the thighs, to the knees, the shins and ankles, to the feet. Notice your whole body. Let it be here. I'm going to read to you a poem by Sonia Sanchez. This is not a small voice. This is not a small voice you hear. This is a large voice coming out of these cities. This is the voice of Latanya, Kadisha, Shaniqua. This is the voice of Antoine, Daryl, Shaquille. Running over waters, navigating the hallways of our schools, spilling out on the corners of our cities, and no epitaphs spill out of their river mouths. This is not a small love, you hear. This is a large love, a passion for kissing, learning on its face. This is a love that crowns the feet with hands, that nourishes, conceives, fills the water sails, mends the children, folds them inside our history where they toast more than the flesh, where they suck the bones of the alphabet and spit out closed vowels. This is a love colored with iron and lace. This is a love initialed Black Genius. This is not a small voice you hear. Take an inhale. Flutter the lips, exhale. Take another inhale. Open the mouth, exhale. Another inhale. Sigh it out. One hand comes to the torso. Feel its weight. Feel the heat. The other hand comes to the torso. And bring the feet to the edge of the pillow. Take a breath. And remove the cover from your eye. When you're ready, you'll roll to your side of choice. Giving yourself the gift of this gentle transition. Notice any sensations in the body. When you're ready, you'll use your top arm to bring yourself up to seated. And the head comes up last. Sit up tall, but gently. The chin can come to the chest. The eyes can close. Hands come together at the heart. We'll take 3 breaths. 3 breaths for those that cannot breathe with us anymore. 3 breaths for the lives that had their breath stolen. Inhale through the nose, filling the side and back body. Exhale, release. Inhale through the nose. Let it go. Once more, filling the body. This life force, this breath. May we use it out in the world to protect others. Exhale. May we dismantle the systems that keep all beings from happiness, from health, and from freedom. Thank you for practicing with me. Thank you for breathing with me.